Hey, what's good YouTube? Target here and welcome to another episode of Design and Manage, my City Skylines and Modded Let's Play series. On the last episode we have resumed the development of this area of town, the latest residential block that we have in our city, and today we are going to continue it because we have a lot of demand for commercial and residential. Also, if we have the time for it, and also if it is justifiable, we may even enable the central park in the central area of this layout. So without further ado, let's start building. Okay, so on the last episode we have zoned this part of the low density residential, and we have now fully developed buildings. Well, not fully developed buildings because there's still a lot of development that needs to be done, and most of it is related to education, but it's progressing well, so we can move on to this area of town, and I think I am going to start zoning this little area. So this area is dedicated to commercial and also residential, high density I mean. So let's start and zone some things. I think we can start with commercial because we zone it right along the edge of the avenue, so that's something we can do right away. Let's zone this area as well, and we can even zone this small block over here. I'm going to keep these areas blank because they are dedicated to the park. So this is also going to be commercial, perfect, and this is going to be commercial as well. And we cannot also forget about these little areas because all of this is going to be commercial. And over here, and also over here. And this little block as well, perfect. I'm even going to make a small pathway separating the hospital from the commercial. So I think this is the pathway that we have been using. Let's just check it out. Yes, it is perfect, and I really like this small slope that we have going on over here, which is great. But now that we have done that, we can zone some offices. Let's make our small gap. So there you go, another block of offices right here. Perhaps I'm not going to zone anything in this road because I don't want the slope to get messed up, so let's keep it at that. But we can definitely zone some offices over here. There we go. And maybe let's fill this entire central area with some residential. Alright. Do you know what we can also do? We can make a small pathway that leads people from this subway station to this little road and eventually to the elevated pathway network. So that's something that I should do right away. So let's grab this little pathway. Let's put it all the way over here. Now let's see, how can I do this? I will definitely try to make a curve, so I'll have to curve all the way until here, I believe, and I need to elevate it, so let's just do that. And I think this is a great gradual slope. Yeah, there you go, that's pretty cool. Now let's bring it all the way down, all the way until the ground floor, and perhaps we can bring it all the way here, and yeah, I like it. We are going to keep it, perfect. Let's proceed with the zoning. I have the habit of zoning small commercial right beneath the highway and also the avenue, just like I've done over here. So let's continue following that pattern. Let's make some more 2-block commercial over here. 2-block commercial buildings right about here, perfect. And maybe this can all be let's see, let's turn it into offices, why not? So some offices here, some offices there, and finally some offices over here as well. And also some over here to provide this little gap. And I believe now all of these can be commercial. Not commercial, residential. So let's zone it. Alright, cool. And now we can move on to this area as well. This is also going to require some commercial as a block. Not commercial offices. I am swapping all the zones, I don't know why. Maybe that's because it's 6:30 in the morning and I'm recording this. But anyway, there you go. The commercial over here. Residential over here. Now some offices. There we go. And now some residential. Okay, perfect. Ah, look at this. Traffic is starting to get problematic in this junction. Let's try and do something. Let's try to upgrade this to a 6-lane avenue and see how well it goes. And I also want to disable parking on the sidewalk, so I'm gonna put the road with trees. So let's turn all of this into that, and also this one. Disabling parking on the sidewalks by using some trees is very useful because it lets you know exactly what kind of cars and also how many cars are in a road. You know, parked cars usually are mistaken with parks that are queuing or are basically in a congestion, such as these ones that you can see over here, which is definitely not the case. This road is actually very traffic free, but these parked cars make it look like it's congested. But anyway, I've turned this road into a 6-lane, and look at that, it seems that this is a problem. But perhaps that's because of all the new trucks, the new moving trucks that are bringing goods to these new blocks. So because I have zoned all of these at the same time. But I think when all of these buildings adapt, this thing is going to be much more traffic free. Let's just wait a bit and see how this develops. Yeah, look at that, we have a lot of these box trucks, which I believe are the trucks that are used to move people into their new homes. So yeah, let's just wait and see. While that's developing, perhaps there's a couple of things that we can do. First and foremost, we can enable our metro station. Let's do that. What is this? High school, so let's enable it as well. There we go. And finally, let's also enable the hospital. Okay, pretty cool. I also think I will want to enable this train station and also these metro stations. Cool. Now let me just see if everything is connected properly. I believe so. I think this is all connected. Yeah, the metro stations are fine. Another thing that we can do over here is provide a way for people who are getting off the train on this train station to get to this part of town. And there's actually a pretty simple way of doing that. People actually have access to the backside of the station, so if I just create a pathway that connects to this small building, people will be able to cross from this station to this layout. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Let me just disable all the guides. Let's make a small connection here all the way in until this side. Okay. Alright, it's connected, and if you noticed, the pathway only goes until here, but it automatically created a gray path that connects to this station. And I'm actually very curious to see if people are going to use this, so yeah, let's wait and see. Yeah, look at that. Do you see how people are using the back door of the station? That's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. And it also seems that they are also using the metro stations quite a bit. There's an even distribution of them, which is amazing. But now that we have this station enabled, there's something very important that we need to do, which is add a train line between both of our train stations. So let's make a line that goes between these two stations, and these are the only two that we have, so that's the only thing that we can do right now. And we now have a singular line that brings people from this corner to this corner at a very quick pace. Oh, and by the way, somebody suggested that I should turn all of the... Oh, look at the amount of people that just got out of that train. It's amazing. But anyway, I was saying something. Yeah, people told me that I should have made a bypass on this station. Because pretty much this is the entrance of the city. That's point number 1. And point number 2, by not having a bypass, trains that want to come into the city will have pretty much to queue and wait for the passenger trains to drop off and pick up the passengers here. So, and I agree with that. That's something that I forgot pretty much. That's the only reason. But we'll see how it goes. If this thing creates a train bottleneck in this part of town, I will pretty much have to adjust the layout so that I have to make a bypass. But in the meanwhile, it's working very well. Let's just see what is this train going to do with all the passengers. Yeah, did you see how that train just went by the station and didn't pick anybody here? That's exactly what I was talking about. That train had to wait for this train that is picking up passengers to get out of the station so that it could proceed. So that's something that we'll have to keep in mind for the future. Oh, and look at that. It seems that my theory was right. And all the traffic was created by zoning a lot of residential and commercial all of a sudden, because the roads now are pretty much controlled. And we have some cars stopped at the interchange, which is more than normal, but everything is flowing very well in this part of town. Perfect. But anyway, guys, this is a perfect opportunity for us to finally enable the park. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. I am going to start by enabling some gates first and foremost. We already have the main gate. I'm also going to enable this side gate, this one as well, and this one as well. Well, you know what, maybe we can enable all of them, why not? Now that we're at it, also let's enable this radio tower, and also this one, and finally this one, if I can reach it. And perfect. Oh, and I cannot forget about this one as well. Now we can start adding things. This is only a level 1 park, so we are very limited in the amount of buildings that we have. But let's see, what do we have? We can start with this park plaza, and we can put it right at the entrance of the park. There we go. We have the cafes. You guys know how I like the cafes, don't you? But perhaps we can start with the info booth and put it right at the entrance, followed by a cafe and also the restrooms. The restrooms can fit in this corner very well. You know what? I'm really tempted to make a park right next to the river, just so I can use these little piers. That's something I haven't played with, but I already have some plans for a park that I'm gonna do on the shoreline. You'll just have to wait and see. We also have this park chessboard, so let's put it over here because it fits very well. And I think that's gonna be it for this part of town. Let's just see how well it looks. Yeah, I like it. We can live with this. Now let's move on to the other entrance of the park. We have these two entrances. Perhaps we can make two things over here. Let's put an info booth on each of those. You know what? I want to try not to place any buildings right along the roads, because I'm thinking about putting some fences. So that's something that might come in handy. So I'm just gonna put the info booth right about over here. The cafe can be placed here. And finally some restrooms. Let's just do the same on the other side. and there you go. I think I have a way of taking advantage of this space a bit better. So let's grab our pathways. Oh, and by the way, I need to convert these pathways into something more attractive. Let's make a pathway over here and a pathway over here as well. Okay, perfect. And now we can safely put some attractions at the ends. Let's just put a couple of plazas for the time being. I might have to change and adjust all of this because as we progress with our park, we are going to enable a lot more buildings, some of them which are bigger, and I might use these things to place some bigger buildings. We'll just have to wait and see how it develops. But anyway, we have enough parks in our park area. As you can see, this thing is green. Now what I think I'm gonna do, I am going to wait until we have enough visitors, and I'm going to continue the development of this park when we reach level 2. Well, 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 will you look at that. Seems that we are having an electricity problem, and you know, I think it's time for us to add a second nuclear power plant. So yeah, I think I'm going to delete these coal power plants over here, and I'm going to adjust this layout a bit better so that I can fit a second nuclear power plant. I don't know. I don't really like how the chimneys are alternating. Perhaps I can try and put them a line towards the same direction. There we go. Much better. And we now have a lot of power. We are producing 1500 and we're only needing 1000. And with this I think we are not going to worry about power for the rest of this series. Hopefully. Oh, and by the way, let me just take care of this. Let's set this one to empty and unempty these ones. Okay. I know that I've said that I was going to wait until we get enough visitors so that we could continue the expansion of the park. But one thing that I can do already is place an info booth and also a cafe at the entrance of the park, or at pretty much at every single entrance that we have, because that's something that I know I will want to have. So let's just do that right away. Okay, I've just added restrooms, cafes and info booths to all the entrances of the park, and which are represented by these pillars of light, of purple light that you can see all throughout our park. And I think this is a good starting point for our park. And if I come over here, we have a total of 670 entertainment, and our number of visitors is growing steadily. And speaking of parks, this area is red pretty much because it doesn't have a single park over here, so perhaps that's something that we can start working on. I think I want to come to the metro station and put a small plaza, perhaps this one. Yeah, I think it fits very well. Maybe the train needs to be adjusted quite a bit. Okay, much better. Maybe we can also put another plaza in this intersection. This area was reserved for the park area, but I don't think we're going to build anything in this little square, so we can put a plaza here. I think this area is asking for a snowman park over here, so let's give it. Yeah, there you go. Look how friendly it looks. Perfect. And perhaps we can even put another one at the edge of town, right about here. This area is pretty much asking for my 2x4 park, so let's give it that. And finally, let's put a small playground in our residential area. And what the hell? why not just another snowman park, just to get this area to the blue zone. And there we go, perfect. And of course, we are starting to have some fires. And that's because, yeah, this area is pretty much uncovered, so we need to enable our fire station. There we go, and now that we're dead, we probably need to enable our police headquarters as well. But anyway guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Today we had kind of a chill episode, not a lot of major work was done, and we just focused on increasing the population of our city. And I think now that we are towards the end of the series, a lot of the remaining episodes are going to be like this. But anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so and you wanna follow the development of this series, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already to get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching guys, and always have fun.